In this video, we are covering consumer protection and regulation, specifically to protect us against the rich and powerful. For example, monopoly rules. Not the game. We have monopoly laws because large corporations with unlimited money decided they wanted to buy everything in a sector and just charge us whatever they want. We have other rules because they would collude on pricing and fix the price and charge us whatever they want. And in both cases, this is the rich and powerful using their money and power to take advantage of we the people. But we the people living in America are more powerful than the corporations. Our elected Congress passed a law that said you can't buy everything up in a sector and charge us everything we want. And we have a whole host of laws and regulations that give us the free, open, competitive, and innovative corporate market we have. Without the laws and regulations passed by we the people telling the corporations what to do, we would still have a free-for-all where they could do anything they want, buy everything, charge us whatever they want. It is our job to keep them in check, and history shows that. And this is not just a history lesson. The insurance companies decided they wanted to maximize profit by simply not including people that were costing them money. So they had pre-existing conditions. Oh, you had cancer? We're charging you $8,000 a month or not giving you coverage at all. Great way to maximize profit. But we, the people, with the control, decided we didn't like that anymore. So we elected the right people in Congress and as president to pass the ACA, and we became the boss again. We told the insurance companies, you can't pick and choose to maximize profit. And on top of that, 80% of what you pull in has to be done for patient care. So we capped their profit on how much they can extract from the American people while holding our money for us. That is we, the people, telling the business what they can and cannot do, and they hate that. Even more recently, under Biden, we had 2 years where we had Democratic Congress. They passed a consumer protection bill that, among other things, told credit card companies, no, you can't jock the due date around and extract extra late fees like they were doing. Just an example how corporations will do anything and everything they can to maximize profit, regardless of whether it's moral or right. If it's legal, they're going to do it, and it's our job to make it not legal. And that's what this consumer protection law did. And it may seem like I'm cheerleading for the Democrats, showing all the consumer protection that they've done, but since 1980, I can't find a single consumer protection law passed by the Republicans, period. So if there was one, I would be touting that when I'm talking about consumer protection. The most important takeaway from this is we are the boss. We tell them what to do, and they hate it. So what they did was they created a consortium of corporations, the Heritage Foundation, and they built a blueprint for how they want the American policy to work to benefit them for a change. They gave that to Ronald Reagan, and per their admission, Ronald Reagan implemented 60% of their corporate agenda in year one. Reagan shut the door on the American people for what we want the policy to be and went full time implementing the mandate for leadership by the Heritage Foundation in order to convert the American policy into the Heritage Foundation policy, and it worked great. Now we have a completely deregulated FCC. We have a corporate-owned, corporate-sponsored liberal media station called MSNBC that never talks about regressive tax or income inequality. They got rid of the fairness doctrine, so we don't have to have equal time in our news reporting. And the best one, the consortium of corporations went to Reagan and said, we want you to borrow a bunch of money and give it to us and call it the trickle-down system. And he said, okay. So obviously the mandate for leadership and the Heritage Foundation goes back a long time, and they have some serious weight and a proven track record of controlling a president that will implement their corporate policy instead of the American people's policy. So when we flash forward and see the mandate for leadership with exactly the same name, 2025 edition, being handed to Trump, we were a little concerned because obviously with that kind of history, maybe there is something to it. I honestly do not understand how the American people didn't see it coming, but here we are. So now, Is Trump doing what Reagan did? Is Trump slamming the door on the American people and saying, you know what? Even though I said I don't know anything about Project 2025, that's what I'm going to do full time now. Obviously, that was a lie. The reason we know it's a lie is because they are implementing this plan exactly. So let's talk about what this plan is and why the plan is the way it is. The ultimate plan, in a nutshell, is to reduce the size and effectiveness of government, which is we the people that tells them what to do. They're tired of being told what to do. They're tired of paying taxes. What they want to do is they want to gut the American government so that we the people don't have the power to tell them what to do. Obviously, that's the dynamic and that's the goal. And they are, once again, extremely successful. One example, they want to close the Department of Education. Right here on page 351, the very first sentence says the Department of Education should be eliminated. They want to gut the American system completely. They want to gut our departments. They want to gut our power because, again, they don't want to be told what to do, and they certainly don't want to pay taxes just to pay for the Department of Education. Might seem a little extreme. Maybe you're thinking, well, no, Trump's not going to just take something this extreme and ignore the American people and implement it. Yes, he is. Even something as extreme as closing the Department of Education, he's already on his quest to do that. Even if he's not successful, which hopefully he isn't, it shows that's the goal right here in black and white in the Mandate for Leadership, #2, second edition, given to Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is not implementing the American policy. He's implementing the corporate policy as his full-time job. So that's the dynamic of how come we have regulations against big business. This is the plan against our regulation and our checks on the big business to make sure that they're working for us and not overcharging us. There's supposed to be a cooperative environment where corporations provide us with something and we provide them with something. It's not supposed to be the corporations own our policy. They own us. They own the media. They own the politicians, and they own everything. That's not the dynamic. I've worked for major corporations my entire life. I'm not anti-corporate, but I'm certainly anti-corporations running our policy 100%. Because if the Heritage Foundation is making the policies for America, we don't have an America. The Heritage Foundation has an America.